Remember when the Switch 2 was first announced and we all collectively had the same reaction? Another one? And everything was cool and we thought these minor quality of life changes were also dope until we saw that fucking price tag. And then to see that one of the main first party titles that they were pushing was Mario Kart World, and the base game, right? Standard game, no updates, no DLC, none of that, was $80. People were livid. They were not having it. It was like, what the fuck, Nintendo? Who the fuck do y'all think y'all are, right? Their streams were flooded with hate and everyone and their fucking mothers dropped a video talking about the fact that this shit was overpriced. It was stupid. It was dumb. Switch was not going to make any money. Nintendo was done. All this outrage, all the collective protesting, and everyone getting their panties in a bunch about the ridiculous prices just for that shit to be sold out first week. I remember going to my local Target around the time that it was released to get a PS5, ironically enough. And when I got there, I remember on the counter, it said, Nintendo Switch is sold out. Sorry. And I remember thinking to myself, like, all of that shit that people were talking for this outcome. That's crazy. I suspect that a lot of the same people that dropped the content shitting on the Switch 2 also bought a Switch 2 to do what exactly? They bought Mario Kart World so that you don't have to, right? Outrage just sells, and it sells well. And at the end of the day, with a lot of these content creators, this whole thing is their job. People jump at the low-hanging fruit in these reaction videos and these videos about something being trash or garbage or not good or something is dying, because that's what people want to perpetuate. They want to perpetuate a narrative that something is terrible. And they also like to play off of the collective opinion on something. If we all feel like something is bad or not good, there's people that want to profit off of that. And humans are so simple at our core, because we'll sit here and watch this fluff supporting the facade, knowing that once the console finally drops, we're gonna be in line trying to get it, pre-ordering or lining up outside of GameStop in the fucking middle of whatever season it is to get that fucking console. And this is why games are $70. Actually, the real reason why the games are $70, if you want to get really technical, is actually because of the 2K community. I could do a whole video on this subject as a whole, but if you don't know, right, because not everyone's familiar with the 2K community, the NBA 2K community, right, the community of people that like virtual basketball games, and 2K21, I believe, that was the first game to go from $60 to $70 for whatever fucking bullshit reason that they gave. And you know what the fuck everyone did? They didn't protest it. They just said, no, fuck it, $70. But you know another thing that's very interesting about that community? Since around 2K, I think it was 2014 or 2015, they dropped something called virtual currency. And what is virtual currency? It's a microtransaction that makes it so that if you don't buy virtual currency, you got to spend probably somewhere between 60 and 100 hours just grinding the game to where your player that you make in game can actually do something. Because one of the biggest selling points and one of the biggest attractions with NBA 2K is like the park mode, right? And that's where you create your shooting guard, your point guard, your center, whatever build that you make in basketball terms. You get to play as your own created character with your friends who also have their own created characters. But 2K is such a weird community because they developed that system very early on and made it so that if you actually want to upgrade your character and skip all the bullshit of grinding for that many hours before you could actually max out your player, you gotta buy the virtual currency up front. And the thing is, people that play games like 2K or like Call of Duty or like mainline AAA games, I mean, I don't know if you even want to call 2K a AAA game because this shit looks like PlayStation 2, honestly. But again, we're going off of that logic. 2K players just don't care. They're okay with it. I remember being in high school, it was a common thing for you to buy the game 2K, right? For fucking $60, and then you drop at least an additional $50 to max out your player. And that's only if you want to make one character. If you want to make another character, then that's another $50. So you're dropping up front anywhere from $50 to $100 on top of you buying the game for $60. That's happening with everybody. And it only got worse as generations happen because of like the Fortnite like system, like the Fortnite battle pass stuff. It's changed the game and it's made things way worse. I just think that is funny though, because I don't want to be on this for too long, but I just think that it's funny that there are some games that have changed to the free-to-play model because they see that it's more profitable, like Destiny 2 or Sims 4, where they literally went from being a game that you buy to a free-to-play game that they sell like additional content. So it's like you could try out the game, and if you really fuck with it and want to add more things, then you can buy stuff. 2K just doesn't do that. They just still charge you full price for the game and then still make you buy shit for the like. It's actually crazy that people fall for that shit every year. But I bought them up for a very specific reason, right? 2K created a standard, and everyone else seen wait, people are willing to buy a game for $70? And guess what now? Every fucking game is $70. And there's speculations that every game moving forward, the price is only gonna go up. If Mario Kart World can sell for $80, what the fuck is GTA 6 gonna sell for? Because as long as stupid motherfuckers buy the games for that price, then that's what the price is gonna be. At the end of the day, it's not the game corporations that determine these prices, it's the market. If the market says we'll buy that same product at $70, $80, or shit, one day, hopefully not, but maybe $100, then that's what the fuck is gonna happen. And Nintendo was smart because they understand that their consoles and their devices and everything that they do is marketed towards kids. So whether they dropped it for fucking $300 or $450, when they dropped that Switch 2, parents were gonna be breaking their piggy banks and their wallets to make sure that their kid had that new shiny console. You gotta commend them for sticking to their guns. Look, I'm not anti-corporation, I'm not anti-business. At the end of the day, it's not easy running a corporation or a business. And at a certain point, you got payroll, you got people you gotta pay, you got things you gotta do. But when it comes to dropping quality things, when it comes to getting more of what we want, if people want more of that, then they gotta stick to their guns and stop folding so easily just because that shiny new thing is in front of you and now the collective opinion on something has changed. But hey man, I'm just some random guy on the internet that does this as a hobby. And that's all I really got to add to this conversation. Maybe I'll do a whole video on this 2K shit because it's actually insane how that game operates and has continued to operate for so long with their ratings being so terrible, but they make so much money every year and have had the same business model and just made it worse year after year. But that's all I got. I'll see you later.